But I do just want to react very quickly to the Leagues Cup final. Nashville, they play at Geodis Park, and penalties in Leagues Cup have been. There have been so many penalties that I can't remember what year of Leagues Cup those penalties happened, and we've only had one Leagues Cup. So
everything's bleeding together. Honestly, I have Women's World Cup weaved into the Leagues Cup, weaved into now Premier League play.
There's too many traumatic memories for 30 days. You know what I mean? There's too many incredible moments. Messi arriving, crazy games with some of these Liga MX teams. But no, this final, we got to give credit to Nashville, because Nashville played Inter Miami better than any other club in this tournament, and you would imagine when Busquets got there, when Messi got there, when Alba when they had Messi played his first game and maybe trained twice, I think, at one or two training sessions, once or twice, right? And then bangs in that free kick to win the game against Cruz Azul, and then. So it only got better over time. We had the game against FC Dallas, which was insane, a 4-4 game, and then they won in penalties. And then Orlando City, and then Philadelphia Union. But then so every team thought they knew what they were like, all right, I saw what the last team did.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it. This Messi guy, they ain't even marking him. So I'm going to...
Surely he can't do that to me also.
And to everyone's surprise, he did. He did do it to them. And but Nashville, I think, did the best job of just neutralizing him as much as you could.
They really, really did. But even Leagues Cup, the prior match, Zimmerman had a great match.
Mm-hmm.
It was just there's little to be done, and I think that's one of the things that people are missing that are new to Leagues Cup, MLS or otherwise. He had 4 defenders on him.
Yeah.
And it's okay, at which point, it's not that they're simply bad, which I'm sure that if you could watch it, you would just oversimplify it and be like, oh yeah, they just don't know how to defend, which sometimes, they get caught out. But for this match, that just simply wasn't the case. Messi has a way of being Messi. He finds holes, even if it seems microscopic to everybody else, and he'll exploit it.
Yeah, I mean the goal that he scored. I mean he also hit the post on another shot of where Dax McCarty.
What's that post defensive stat now? It's probably better than some of the other players that have actually faced Messi.
Well, it was they brought the post from the U.S.-Portugal game, actually. They put it there. So the post has some experience.
2 big saves for the post.
So even the one that he hit the post, it was you could tell essentially they weren't man marking Messi, but they were it was mostly Dax McCarty's responsibility, which is also just a great McCarty, Messi, the battle where you love to see. It's just you can't even, you don't even think about it.
I'm sure Messi's was he lost sleep worrying about Dax McCarty.
But Dax is the homie.
Former Red Bull great Dax McCarty.
Dax was I think it was a throw-in, and Dax is looking away for a second because Messi is always walking. He never moves, right? And then he's moving faster than everybody else, right? And that's why he ended up hitting the post. But the goal was just. You have Walker Zimmerman on him. You have Dax McCarty on him. You have Lovitz, I think, is about to make a challenge. Everybody knows. Oh shit! Messi has the ball. We know what our job is.
Walker got a bite of it.
Walker got a touch to it. Honestly, he did such a great defensive job. He hit which also just to take the ball off of Messi. He's the crowd cheered every time Messi lost the ball or somebody they put in the challenge and they got the ball or he made a bad pass. They were like, yeah,
let's go.
Yes, we did it.
We can't believe it. It actually happened.
Lift the trophy now. But if you see that goal in slow motion, and there's somebody, I think Matt Doyle retweeted it, but there's in slow motion, Walker Zimmerman gets just a slight deflection on the ball, and for any normal human footballer, this would put the player in disarray. They'd be like, "Oh no, I had control, but now he hit the ball and the ball hit off of me. Mm-hmm. So now I'm I don't know what to do next." It looked like Walker Zimmerman played a 1-2 off of Messi's shin to be like, yo, I'm gonna set you up for like a perfect pass, but within inches of each other. So Walker gets a touch on the ball, it hits Messi, and it sets the ball up for him perfectly to get the goal and hit the ball around 3 defenders. And the goalkeeper, what is he gonna do?
Yeah, he wasn't even in a bad position. He was right in the middle of the goal.
He was positioned well. He probably couldn't see the ball like exactly when it first sort of took flight, but it's unexplainable. I mean, the conversation comes up again. We talked about this before. Does Messi being this good make MLS look bad? And we asked this question and in jest really, and some people are like. And they people subtweet us, bro. They do it because some people are like, man, I see people in the media asking if Messi is making MLS. Just add us, bro. Add us.
Give us engagement. That's all we want, bro.
We're kind of joking around,
but also Messi has made every league he's been in look stupid.
Yeah.
So why would MLS be the exception? Like, have you watched the man's career? Like, he did it in Ligue 1 too.
Yeah. It's a look. Is it gonna help or hurt the kind of bias about Major League Soccer? Probably not. Who cares?
Both?
I mean, what do you want him to fail here? Like, what's the better outcome?
No, I legitimately think that this is a kind of situation, Messi particularly, that is just going to be confirmation bias.
Sure.
Whatever it is that you wanted to see, you're going to see, and you're going to argue it. That's going to be your hill you die on, and that's fine. But some of the takes are just absolutely crazy on Twitter. I refuse to call it X. I did take pause though for a minute. I was like, am I referring it to the platform in the wrong way?
Right.
I don't care. But yeah, it's whatever they want it to be because, that's the internet is your oyster.
Yeah. So look, I think this game overall had a intensity. I was anxious watching the game.
Oh yeah, the atmosphere. You could come into the TV.
Again, credit to Nashville because a lot of the stadiums that Messi has played in, it's been maybe 50-50. Fans sell their tickets. Yeah. They get, and then you see a bunch of pink jerseys in the stands. And there was some of that. There was some people cheering Messi on. But for the most part, it was a hostile environment.
Nashville legit is a soccer city.
Yeah.
And I think that people don't give it enough credit for what it is.
I haven't been yet.
They're like loud and proud as a gang. They also have really good players. Like, it's not like
Hani
that
Mukhtar
team
was
is like a side of like nobodies, okay? Like Mukhtar's amazing. You got Fafa out there who Fafa will score goals, okay? Like, trust in him by all means. Walker Zimmerman, who else? Like, it's not.
Yeah, no, it's a strong
Although I
side.
understand that a lot of people who are new to MLS or Leagues Cup are going to be like, who's this guy?
Right.
Like,
I mean, look, we all know probably.
Who's Alex Muyl?
MLS Leagues Cup probably wanted Monterrey to have this game.
I mean, for sure, like Liga MX were definitely probably punching air.
Right.
This was not the intention.
Yeah,
to have
but
MLS
this was. I think this was the tougher matchup for Miami. I mean, I think they would have gone through Monterrey a lot easier than Nashville. Nashville were seriously, they were really amazing, and they 100%. They probably deserved to win this game. The penalties were just wild.
And then Messi is a cheat code.
Yeah,
without doubt. Yeah, I thought everybody did so well on penalties. Even the younger players took unbelievably confident penalties. He ended up going to the goalkeeper. Drake Callender was unreal. Victor Ulloa, who missed the penalty for Miami, who we've had on the show a couple years ago.
You have him back on to be like, haha, you missed that pen.
No, but it's just every time, whenever we have a player on the show and they like miss a shot or miss a penalty, I'm just like, no.
Was it you?
Anybody?
I would literally just blame my Cooligans. Honestly, I'm going to put this in my notes right now. Blame Cooligans appearances on all of my life missteps.
We'll take it.
So remarkable, but huge. I'm curious what the rest of the season looks like for Inter Miami. Obviously, they have a huge mountain to climb to make it to the playoffs. But since Messi has arrived, they have not lost a game. They've been remarkable. So you would think that if they can just kind of keep this up, and if you saw the press conference that he did, he said that he's going to play on turf.
I saw that.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like that's a little bit like your union and crossing the picket line on that one because
Scab Messi.
how are you going to leave your guys down bad? Like nobody wants to play on turf. Nobody should have to play on turf.
So you
like
think
that.
he should force them to put grass down?
Yes.
Okay.
Like why wouldn't you? Nobody's going to tell Messi no. Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you use that
All
moment
right, that's a
to
good point.
advocate for
That's a good
everybody else
point.
in the league? And I don't say this only as a person with one leg right now.
Yeah.
who plays
We
on
should
turf.
mention, Christina, we've gotten confirmation you have torn your ACL and MCL.
And both menisci.
Menisci?
My meniscus. Yeah, both my menisci.
And she's here doing the show for you. Okay?
Yeah, never never would leave you guys down bad.
Okay. Yeah. So that's it's an interesting thing. First I was surprised that he said he was going to play.
Yeah.
And then but it's interesting to use that like power to kind of force the league to.
I don't think that he lacks awareness of his capability to change things on a dime. And so I don't think that it was intentionally malicious in some way to be like, hey, I played as a kid on turf. Like we can continue to play on turf, no big deal. But I do think that somebody probably should have gotten in his ear to be like, hey, bud, this is something that we've been trying to push for a while.
Let me whisper in here.
So
Let me come to you on the day of my daughter's wedding. Like we need you to help us out a bit. I absolutely would.
It's interesting because when Felipe Cárdenas asked him in the press conference about like his influence over the sport in this country, he kind of didn't do that. He didn't do the like. I want to have the influence Pele had. He's just like, yeah, I just want to come in and play.
So, but like counter, I feel like he is capable of knowing it, but saying it makes him sound a little douchey.
Maybe. Yeah. So, because Messi has never really been.
He's always been very quiet.
A public advocate of almost anything.
Great, right.
Yeah.
And like, I don't mind that he doesn't serve as a public advocate. Not every player or person are comfortable being in a situation of being, in the spotlight like that. And he's totally comfortable, obviously, being the footballer that he is. I don't want to push on him that he should also be a very loud and proud public advocate.
Yeah.
But I do think that with that comes a certain understanding that, you can still do things behind the scenes that would benefit the people in the league that you're in.
Messi's just doing little Wakanda Forevers. That's not enough? But look, I'm curious to see what the next couple years are going to look like of what influence will he have. Is it simply just business and more eyeballs, or is it actually going to sort of change? Maybe other players are going to be like, just like when Beckham arrived and then we got all these new stadiums and new clubs and investment. Messi's going to change something drastically. I don't know if it'll exactly be grass at every stadium.
I agree with you. And I kind of had early on when Messi was signed, tweeted about how, I think that Messi is going to be the largest impact player since Beckham. And I got a whole bunch of replies that were like, well, what about this person? What about this person? I'm like, no. See, you're misunderstanding. I'm talking about the massive butterfly effect of their coming to MLS, which I do think Messi will, but we're only able to talk about even Beckham's impact in retrospect, right? He took a massive gamble in requesting for the first time ever of a league that he wanted to eventually be an owner in a league that was still nascent, that you hadn't really seen the results impact revenues from, but he still wanted in. And so he either saw something or was an elite level gambler at that juncture in his life that kind of brought us to this, sort of messy everything that we're seeing, which is fine, right? But I do think, for me at least, I'm feeling a bit Messi fatigue, just because everything seems to be about Messi and it's overshadowing a lot of players that are super talented that deserve their shine. Everything now is about going up against Messi, who's facing Messi, tickets to see Messi. And I get it because he's an absolute legend in the making, I'll say, because he's not done with his career yet. And I'm sure that he still has much to do. But I think in a lot of ways it overshadows things that I wish were still getting more coverage than clicks and picks.
I get it. I think maybe we'll see that light being sort of shined on the league probably after he leaves. He's going to take up a lot of the spotlight.
I know, for his duration, which is great. And I just hope that more of the positivity comes from his playing in the league. He's certainly changing the play amongst his teammates. He's definitely making them better. That's something that's clear and obvious to anyone that's watched Inter Miami play in the time before Messi, we're going to call it the BM.
Yeah.
After Messi, the
That's
BM.
tough.
BM, bowel movement, I guess.
We'll workshop that, okay?
We're still figuring it out.
Need to come up and send it out to the group.
In the before Messi times. But yeah, like it's very encouraging to see what his teammates have managed to pick up on.
Sure.
And, that's the kind of impact that you want, right? Now we just need to figure out how to spread that more evenly over some of the other sides. Because you're not going to get, like a Messi per team. Like, that's an impossible task.
I would. That's what I would do.
Yeah, simply
Just
go
find
in
them.
there and blow your budget. Get a one-time
Find a
generational
Messi
player. It's
per
not that
team.
hard.
Well, okay. Robert Taylor for MVP. Anyway.